Kristen Helling. She is the Student Resource Coordinator at Buffalo State College and is owner of Hellcat Company, a holistic health service. She has been mentoring college students for at least 21 years, probably more, since her own days as an undergrad at SUNY Fredonia, where we have an ALD chapter. Please help me welcome, as our final keynote speaker, Kristen Helling.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Everything's great?
Yes.
Awesome.
Can hear you great. Yep.
Just wanted to double check. Thank you so much. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you might be, my friends. Welcome. As Eileen said, my name is Kristen Helling. It is my extreme honor to be here with all of you badass leaders. I am so stoked to talk to you about some mental wellness as you've been rocking and rolling all day long. So I promise to keep you on your feet. I promise to ask you a bunch of questions and keep you involved in this. I've been watching you. Your energy is on point. You have been taking notes. You've been engaging. You've been like, who the hell is that Tamara lady and how do I follow her? Because she's crazy and I need to know more about creativity and all of her chaos. So I love everything about this. One of the things that I always caution my students on when they get back from one of these is they're so jazzed and they're so excited and they have notes upon notes upon notes that they have taken for the day, or there's someone that they really latched onto and they want to connect with that person. Do it instantly, my friends, okay? I need you to do that immediately, because if you don't, you start to get something I like to call shelf esteem. So you know it, you've been there, you've been to the talks, you've bought every single book that the person has talked about, and then it sits on your shelf and you don't do anything with it, especially because we have 3 weeks left in the semester. So I need you to start thinking about that, because 3 weeks from now, where are you going to be? What's your mental state going to be leading up to May 8th? Because you have finals and you have papers and you're transitioning your executive boards. You've got internships. Oh my God, you're moving home. All of that chaos and craziness is coming back, and you've got summer jobs and you've got this whole new thing weighing on your heart, because unlike your high school friends that you missed when you first got to college, now you've got college friends that you're going to miss for a couple of months too. So what is all of this going to be? That kind of reverse homesickness coming at you is something that's going to be impeding your thoughts. So if I've given you a little bit of anxiety, I apologize for that. We're going to move into something really cool that I've done with my students for probably the last 6 years that moves mountains and shakes them. So if you're with me, give me a little thumbs up so I know that you're still with me, because I'm seeing some of your faces and I'm loving it. So thank you so much. I love the interaction. You guys are the bomb. So in my current position, I'm the Student Resource Coordinator in the Dean of Students office. And y'all know you don't go to the Dean of Students office unless it's getting real. Like something is happening for you to get to the Dean of Students office, okay? It's kind of chaos and craziness. So for me, I'm the person that sits down with the students when it's getting real in their lives and they want to meet with the dean, but I'm kind of like I'm her defense. I see the student first and see what's going on. So the students that come to me in my Zoom room now instead of my office, they're totally withdrawn. They're emotionally spent. They might be food insecure. They might have had something tragic happen to their apartment, or heaven forbid their family. Even with COVID and everything that's been going on, there's been a lot of instances where students just need help. So the first thing I do is I sit down with the student and I give them probably about 5 to 10 minutes to talk about, you know, what's going on. But that's all you basically get, because when we talk about where they are as opposed to where they want to be, that distance in between is something Brene Brown likes to call what, my friends? Does anybody know? Drop it in the comments if you know. Come on, anybody got it? The distance between where you are and where you want to be is something she calls shame. So as we talk through some of there, it's completely okay to be where you are, but we want to recognize where it is that you want to go, because we don't want to keep you in that spot. So what I do with my students is something called desire mapping. So for those of you that do like information, it's a Danielle Laporte. She's a Canadian author. She's amazing. Danielle Laporte is her name. She does something called the desire map. And what I've done is broken that down Barney style, purple dinosaur coming at you, a little simplistic, to make it easier for my students to process, understand, and involve in their life right away. So I'm going to give you an example, okay? I had this amazingly talented 3.7 GPA first year student come into my office, and she sat down before me And she kept her coat on and she kept her book bag on and her shoulders were down and her head was down. And I was like, how can I help you today? And she's just like, I don't even know where to start. She's like, I'm a first-year student. I have this amazing 2002 Buick Century that is amazing, and it's covered in all of these different bumper stickers that I've had for wherever I go, and it is my lifeline because it gets me back and forth to my student teaching placement. And I love this car, but it's dying. So I parked it in a lot, and I went back to my residence hall, and I didn't go back for a week. You all know where I'm going with this. She parked in a faculty lot, and she got 7 days worth of parking tickets. So on my campus, that's about $25 a pop. I don't know where it is on yours. But on top of that, because it lasted at least a week, her car got towed too. Now this 2002 Buick is not even worth $2,000. Emotionally to her, it is, because, oh my God, it is her car. It gets her back to her placement. We rock and roll with that. But realistically, she didn't have the cash to make that happen. So what is she going to do? So I sat there for a minute and I'm like, okay, we'll get to the goods. I'll call, make some phone calls, we'll make some stuff happen and move and shake. But I didn't start with the negative part. I started with the positive part. So I'm like, you said it gets you back and forth to your placement, right? And she's like, yeah, absolutely. I'm like, well, tell me a little bit about your placement. And she was like, but I'm here to talk about my parking tickets. I'm like, yeah, we'll get to your parking tickets. I want to talk about your placement for a minute. So we flipped the script on her immediately. So what we started talking about was her placement. And all of a sudden, her shoulders started to go down and her head picked up. And this thing came across her mouth, and it was full of teeth, and it was smiling, and it was wild because she started to talk about this student. And it was her favorite student on the planet. And the student had autism, and she has autism running in her family. And she had worked specifically with her teachers to develop these specific techniques that she could use. And this student started to come out of their shell. They started to come alive. So every week when she went back to her placement, life just started to get better and better because she could see the difference that she was making. As she talked about this, like her words started going faster, like the excitement in her voice started going. She was just ready to rock and roll and ready to like explode through the conversation that we were having. And I asked her, now, how are you feeling now after you just got done talking to me about the student and this placement as opposed to when you just walked in? And it was like night and day. So I know you all at some point in time as a student leader have felt that flip of the switch. Am I right? If I'm right, give me another thumbs up. I want to see that you're with me on this, okay? So as she's sitting here and as she's telling me how amazing that this could be, I laughed and I said, well, what would you do if I could help you contain the feeling that you're currently feeling longer? And yes, we'll get to the parking tickets and I'll help you with the tow and all of that jazz. And we'll talk emergency relief and we can get you funded for the $2,000 to get your car back. And like, it was a new person in front of me and it was absolutely incredible. So we started to do that by something called desire mapping. So we sat down in my office and we have this whiteboard and we call it the whiteboard of wonder. And we call it that because some really amazing development has happened with my students as a result of this. So I'm going to ask you guys to play along if it's cool with me. So if that's cool and you're down with that, again, I want to see some hearts and some action in here because I want to see that you're with me and you're willing to try this. And this is something that you can do with your teams too when y'all are feeling a little bit of pressure. And it's the last 3 weeks. Thank you very much for all your hearts. I appreciate that so much. Because the next 3 weeks aren't fun in terms of getting everything done that you need to get done and taking care of your mental wellness. So what we're going to do is this. I need you to tell me the feelings that you want to feel in the next 3 weeks of school. So in the comments, I want to drop some feelings. How do you want to feel? Okay, give them to me. Relief, strong, relieved, relaxed, proud, successful, confident, proud, less tired, calm, happy, accomplished, relief, awesome, motivated, self-confident, keep them coming, calm, happy, proud, confident, satisfied, relief. These are amazing. Yes, I think these are brilliant words. At peace, damn, whoever put that one down, great job on that one. Proud, bittersweetly motivated, a little laughter day. Yes, all of that goodness. You need to be real with yourself, okay? You are high achievers. You are kicking ass. You're taking names. I'm super proud of you and everything that you've done with academics, but you also need to take care of what's in here, okay? And when you take care of what's in here, it means you're taking care of what's in here too. So I need you to become intentional with what you're doing. I'm certain my girl Tamara dropped that word. I know it's one of her favorites. So with the intention that you're having with all of the words that you've just dropped in the chat box here, what I need you to do is give me now 3 action steps that you can use to accomplish those words that you just put down in the next week. So if you used something like relax, give me 3 things that you can do to feel relaxed this week. If you put hopeful, I want 3 things that you can do to feel hopeful. For those of you that want to feel proud, what are 3 things that you can do to feel proud? Look at all of this stuff. So you're giving me things like take breaks, get enough sleep, breathe, develop a schedule, call a friend, go for a run, take study breaks, set goals, accomplish my self-care. Get even deeper on this. If you put self-care down in there, gosh darn it, I want you to tell me what self-care means. And I want it to be something, A, that you can afford to do. So putting down a Reiki treatment and a massage and reflexology probably isn't going to work at $65 a pop, but I want it to be things that you can do. It can be something like I can take off this crappy nail polish that I've been wearing and I can repaint my nails or do something like that. Do you get what I'm saying? I want it to be real, tangible things that you can actually accomplish. And after you accomplish it, feel damn good for doing those, okay? Cook out with milkshakes. I love you. Whoever wrote that, I'm going to give you a big heart for that. So like, these are the things that we don't think about as high achievers, as we're rocking and rolling through making sure that that 10-page paper is due and getting all the notations done and meeting with my advisor and making sure my internship is set. These are the things that keep you in check with what it is that you need to do. You need to protect your mental health. And this is how we do that. It's called the check-in, my friends. All right. But these are really smart, tangible things. I'm seeing SMART goals in there. That's exactly what I'm asking you to do, but I'm asking you to do it with feelings. Danielle Laporte in her desire map says, you know what, when you set goals, if you set them with feelings, you can check in with yourself, because the more that you feel of the good feeling that you want to feel, your vibrations start to increase. And guess what? The universe is going to provide more of that to you. So in doing that, my friends, you are calling into your existence what it is that you want to have happen. Turn off the computer, go into the sun, read a useless magazine. That's a darn good one. Bake a batch of cinnamon rolls. Whatever it is, whatever makes you feel the way that you want to feel, you're going to go back and revisit those 5 feelings. So this is your homework tonight, all right? At some point in time before your head hits the pillow, you are going to write the 5 things you want to feel in the next 3 weeks, all right? And in those 5 feelings that you want to be feeling, you need to do 3 things each week that make that happen. Brianna, happy birthday. I'm seeing that in the chat. So girl, we're going to shout you out right now, okay? So in order to do this, in order to be real with yourself and think about those 5 feelings, what I want you to do is think about the character that you need to play in order to be that person, all right? What does that person look like? What does that person eat? How does that person speak? What is it that that person does? Are they wasting time doing Netflix at nighttime just to veg out and chill? Or are they filling their mind with really brilliant podcasts? Or hell, if you've got time to read a book of your choice, rock and roll? Or what is your heart's passion? Maybe, you know, you're going to school to do something, but that isn't specifically what your passion is. Maybe it's photography, or you know what? No, let me be real. I was reading some of Tamara's comments that you all left on Instagram to win the prize that she has or whatever, the book. And I saw that one of you is really into art, but you've only been doing art because you have it as your major. So damn it, go do some art that is reflective of your spirit, of your being, of what it is that isn't on a syllabus, okay? This is what I want you to do. I want to see that motivation. I want to see that passion come through, because when you start being that person, guess what? You're going to show up as the character that you need to be for the next chapter of your life. And that's these next 3 weeks, my friends. As you're getting ready, to rock and roll, make sure that you're doing that. How do I do that best? What I do is I am not going to reinvent the wheel. I'm not going to tell you to reinvent the wheel. I'm going to tell you a resource that's less than 20 bucks that you can pick up on Amazon that has helped me tremendously. They come in a variety of different colors. This one is yellow. It's a 1-month planner. Brandon Burchard, I know you've heard of him. He's out there. He's rocking it, kicking ass and taking names. And this planner is amazing. I'm going to read through some of the prompts that he gives you every day. And imagine if you did the things that you needed to do to become the person you want to be by feeling, and you answered these questions in the morning and then at nighttime. Are you ready for me? If you're still with me, again, give me some hearts. All right. Let me see you're still with me. Come on. Let's see them. Thank you very much. I want to make sure your fingers are still working. Rock and roll. Awesome. So the first prompt that Brendan gives you is this. What is one thing that I can get excited about doing today? What is it? Don't know what it is, but put it in there. Tell me all about it. Throw it in the comments if it's something that you can get excited about today. All right. Next prompt. If one word could describe the kind of person I want to be, then that word is what? And I chose this why. That is some knowledge, my friend. All right. If you were to pick a word daily as to who you want to be and why you're going to be that person, imagine if you did that at, I'm gonna be real. If your first class is at 10 a.m., what if you woke up at 8 a.m. instead of 9:45 and you intentionally thought about this stuff beforehand? Okay. Number 3. Someone who needs me on my A game. Who is that person today? Straight up, who is it? It could be yourself. It could be your mama. It could be whoever. If you've got babies at home, it could be them. Whoever it might be, hit it. All right. Number 4, a situation that might stress me out or trip me up today could be, here's the greatest part. And my best self would handle that by doing what? Because let me say, sometimes we got to flip the switch and tone it down a little bit, but what would your best self do? How would your best self be accomplishing that? All right. If I could surprise one person with a note, a gift, a sign of appreciation, I will tell you what, I worked with a nun in my office for 17 years. Some days this woman drove me crazy. Other days I love her to death. She's one of my favorite people on the entire planet, 80 years old. Haven't seen her in a year due to COVID, but you know what? My dad the other day, he was like, yo, you still talking to that nun? I was like, I'm a terrible person, Dad. I have not texted her in a hot minute. I text this nun out of the blue and she sent me back, no joke, a text the size of Texas. And she was like, it is so great to see you. And guess what I learned how to do? I watched a YouTube video and I FaceTime. Do you FaceTime? I was like, oh shit, Sister Charlene, we are going to FaceTime and this is going to be fabulous. Just that one 2-minute conversation that I wrote. She probably took her 10 minutes to type that stuff up, but that made her entire day. We've got a FaceTime on the books for the 21st. I can't even wait. So do that every day. Who's the one person you can check in with? Maybe it's a new member. Maybe it's your advisor. I don't know who it is. Maybe it's your mama because you haven't picked up the phone in a hot minute, but do something, pick one person. Okay. I'm going to go quick because I know Eileen's going to be flashing me soon. Okay. One action I can take today to demonstrate excellence is amazing. One thing I can do today that's a little outside of my comfort zone. Girl, gentlemen, push yourself a little bit to feel uncomfortable. I tell you what, I went back to school at 36 years old and I was like, I've always wanted to be a reflexologist. I'm going to be a reflexologist. I'm going to learn how to maneuver the foot. I'm going to learn how energy and movement can rock and roll. And I'm going to take that damn certification test. It took me twice because anatomy is tough stuff. For any of you anatomy science people, rock on. I'm proud of you. But I went back and I did it and it's amazing. And it's bringing me more joy than you could ever imagine. So I literally sit doing people's feet, talking the same thing that I'm talking to you every darn day and being paid great on top of the college education that I have. So get yourself a side hustle. Think about all these jazz. All right. High performance coach. Back to that again. If your high performance coach was talking to you at the end of the day, what would they tell, or at the beginning of the day, how would they coach you? What would they tell you? I want you to think about that when you're talking about, you know, your students, your new members, all of this jazz. How do you want to be spoken to as a new person coming in? And remember that when you're talking to your new enrollees in ALD, all right, let's talk to them the way we want to be talked about, okay? And how would I know today would be a great success? At the end of the day, I did, or I said, or I felt. Again, I'm going to connect you back to those feelings. How do you want to feel? All right. These are amazing morning prompts. I'll give you just 2 of the evening ones because Eileen is looking at me that way. All right. I got you. In the evening, a moment that I really appreciated today. What was that? What was something that I really appreciated? So at the end of the day today, or drop it in the comments right now, all right? I want you to tell me what is something that you absolutely appreciated about this conference today? What is giving you life about this? What says, yes, I'm so happy I spent a couple hours with these people. This is amazing, all right? Let's see. Something that could have helped me feel more connected to others today could have been. Eileen, look at all this great feedback in the chat. You're welcome. This is great, right? I'm sure they're going to have an assessment, so please do the assessment when they're done. And you should have assessments after yours too. But all of this great stuff is all in the Brenda Burchard stuff. Guys, just tap into your feelings, okay? I really need you to do that in the next 3 weeks, especially, but make sure you do it once a month at least. Is just check in how you want to feel. I wish you all the best. You've been fabulous. Thank you so much. I'm giving you bunches and bunches of hearts for all of your awesomeness. I really appreciate the participation. And if you need anything, connect with Eileen. She'll get you my stuff. I'll talk to you soon.